Title: The Hidden Gift of Perspective. What if the worst thing that ever happened to you turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you? Not because it was good, not because it was fair, not because you would ever wish it on someone else, but because it changed you. My name is Jody. I used to measure my life by the things that went wrong, the chaos, the pain, the choices I wish I could undo. I saw them as evidence of failure, proof that my story had gone off track. But what I didn't realize at the time was that those very moments, the ones I tried to hide, numb, outrun, were actually shaping me into someone I had not yet met. I didn't grow up in peace. I grew up learning how to adapt, reading the room, managing emotions, surviving environments that didn't always feel safe. And when you grow up like that, you become strong in ways people don't always see, but you also carry things you don't yet know how to put down. So when I found something that quieted the noise, that softened the edges, that gave me relief, I took it, and for a while, it worked, until it didn't. Because what starts as relief can quietly become a trap. And before you realize it, you're not choosing it anymore. It's choosing you. The life I thought I was building, gone. The identity I thought I had, gone. And I found myself sitting in the aftermath thinking, how did I get here? But here's the question I wish someone had asked me back then. Not, how did you get here? But, what is this here to teach you? Because sometimes, the worst thing that ever happens to you is the only thing powerful enough to interrupt the path you were on. I finally surrendered, and that was the beginning, not the end of my healing. Because removing the chaos doesn't automatically create peace. That part, you have to build, moment by moment, choice by choice. And somewhere along the way, I stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And I started asking, what can I become because it did? And that question changes everything. Because now, instead of seeing your past as something that broke you, you start to see it as something that revealed you. Your resilience, your awareness, your capacity to rebuild. You realize you didn't survive all of that by accident. There is something in you that refuses to give up, even when you wanted to, even when it would have been easier. And maybe, just maybe, the worst thing that ever happened to you was also the moment your life demanded more from you. More truth, more awareness, more alignment. Today, I live a life that once felt impossible. I wake up in Costa Rica. I create, I build, I help others find their way back to themselves. But none of that happened despite my past. It happened because of it. Because pain has a way of refining you. If you're willing to face it. I wouldn't go back and choose those experiences, but I also wouldn't erase them, because they gave me something I didn't have before. Perspective, strength that isn't performative, but embodied, and a deep understanding that healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you otherwise. So I'll ask you again, what if the worst thing that ever happened to you turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you? Not because it didn't hurt, but because it woke you up. What if it was the turning point, not the ending? And what if your story isn't something to be ashamed of, but something that's preparing you to step into the life you were always meant to live? Thank you.